Hey tubers and preppers, this is Mountain Prepper, and the video you're about to see here is a video on the survival triangle, and more specifically on the defense side of the survival triangle. And as a lot of you guys know, I'm very inexperienced in this prepping lifestyle. I just started doing this a couple months ago, and one thing that I'm very lacking in is the defense side of the survival triangle. Um, and I've got some things that I'm looking at picking up, a defense rig, and today's video is going to be specifically on handguns and battle rifles and carbines, and I'm just going to kind of throw out the stuff that I'm looking at here, and I would appreciate any comments if you know about the weapons that you see here in this video. I'd appreciate any comments, any feedback, any advice. I'm just going to show you what I'm thinking about picking up here in the very near future, and I'm going to kind of go into why I've chose these weapons. And like I said, send me some messages if you know what you see and you're familiar with it. Give me comments, give me advice. I appreciate everything. Anyway, enjoy the video, guys. Bye. Okay, the pistol I'm going to talk about in this video is the High Point Compact 9mm. And the reason I chose to talk about this pistol is because I own one. And honestly, I know a lot of you guys are High Point haters, and I've heard the whole Jam-O-Matic stuff and all that. But honestly, I have made a decision not to change. This is going to be my pistol for several reasons. Number one, a lot of people call this a drawback, but I think it's a plus. It's heavy and it's bulky. And because of that, there's very little recoil and it stays on target. Honestly, better than any pistol I've ever fired. And I've fired quite a few pistols. And honestly, this High Point, it stays on target better than anything I've ever fired. There's a few little tricks with the High Points. You've probably seen in other videos. If you've ever seen High Point videos, there's tricks to solving the jam problems. Most of the time, what you're having is nosedive problems with your magazine. Anyway, I've corrected all that with mine, and I'm just going to tell you, it's a good firearm. I mean, you can argue all you want. I've ran a lot of rounds through this pistol, and I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. And the other thing I really like about it is the fact that it just fits my hand perfectly. I mean, it's just a really comfortable gun for me. I know some of you guys might not like it, but it works for me, and it fires all kinds of different ammunition. I mean, I've ran cheap federal stuff through it with absolutely no problems. And even I've heard some people say it won't take hollow points. Mine takes hollow points just fine. And honestly, guys, and I know you guys think I'm nuts or whatever, but I've found this handgun to be just as accurate, if not more accurate, than nearly any pistol I've ever shot. And so this is going to be my sidearm. This is what I'm going to keep. I know, like it or not, I'll probably get a bunch of comments about how crappy High Points are and blah, blah, blah. But I've had one for about a year and a half now. I've owned this one for about a year and a half, and I can honestly say that it is a fine firearm. Okay, now we're going to get into the raging debate that everybody seems to be involved in, and that is the AK versus AR discussion. And, I know that I've decided I'm going to go with one of these two, as most people. I'm leaning very heavily towards the AK, um, simply because of price, and also because, let's face it, even you AR-15 guys have to admit this. I mean, you can run over an AK-47 with a truck and then drop it in a mud hole and pick it up and it'll still fire. And I think in a FUBAR SHF or SHTF WROL type situation, that's going to be very handy. And you want something that is going to fire when you need it to fire. Um, so I'm really leaning towards the AK, and specifically, I'd like to have an underfolder, just because I would think that it would be easier to manipulate around if you're having to carry it around, or if you're in an indoor situation or whatever. So that's what I'm really looking at here. And and honestly, I don't have $1,000 to spend on an AR-15 or an M16 variant. And the other thing is the AR is such a complicated machine. I mean, you're looking at, I'm not sure how many parts are on the thing, but I know there's a ton of different moving, working parts that go up to making an AR-15. And I'm not saying they're not they're bad weapons. I mean, I know they're phenomenal weapons. I just don't think that you know when you would have to use that weapon on a day-to-day basis, you can't afford to have something breaking down on you where you can't find parts or this or that. So I'm leaning really towards the AK-47, and I would prefer the underfolder. So if you guys know of a good place to get one for a good price, or have any comments about either one of these, the AR-15 or M16 variant or the AK, please just leave me a message down there in the message box, or PM me. Okay, on the last segment of this video, I want to talk a little bit about carbine, and in particular, this carbine you see on the screen here, and this is another high point. So high point haters, go ahead and turn your caps lock on. But anyway, this is the High Point 995 TS 9mm carbine. Um, it fires your standard Luger 9mm cartridge. Um, and you can see here it comes with a lot of different accessories. And you can actually purchase this weapon just as you see it, with the collapsible foregrip, the tack light, the laser sight, or laser pointer sight, whatever that's called. Um, and it's got the shock absorber there in the buttstock, um, which I don't really know if you'd need that with a 9mm, but it's there, and it looks kind of cool. I think it's a pretty mean looking gun, actually. Anyway, I read a lot of stuff. If you've ever seen, like, again, Miller USAF Tactical, he has one of these, and he's done a couple videos on his, and he raves about it. He says it's a great gun, and so I did a little research on it, and mainly because the price of it attracted me. $250 to $275 with all these options and accessories. That's a pretty good price. So I read some articles about it. I looked up some stuff on the internet about it, and actually found that some different groups did some accuracy and ballistic testing on this particular carbine, and the ballistics on this thing was amazing. It outperformed every carbine that they put it up against, and the accuracy was just, dead on. And I even watched some the films that or the videos that Miller USAF did, and he even says that it's unbelievably accurate. But the ballistics that this thing gets out of a 9 millimeter Luger cartridge, a pistol cartridge, is pretty impressive. And the other reason I was kind of leaning toward it is because it will accept the same, not only the same ammunition, but the same magazine as my pistol does. So, I have interchangeable magazines, two weapons and the same exact magazine, the same exact ammunition, which would simplify things greatly, especially if you're in a stressful type situation. So I'm really looking at this to add as a secondary to uh, either probably the AK or the AR-15. So there it is. If you have any questions, comments, or advice about the High Point 995TS, go ahead and leave me a comment. I appreciate it. All right, well there it is, guys. That's going to be the start of the defensive side of my survival triangle. Um, like I said, leave me comments, suggestions, whatever. I appreciate it. And this is Mountain Prepper out. Remember, mountaineers are always free. And I'll be coming at you pretty soon with a home defense tactical shotgun video here in just a little while. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys. Bye.